Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies coming to HBO Max in 2021.
This is an extermination. They're picking my family off one by one.
This is a gritty 1970s war movie combined with the brilliance of James Gunn's characters and comedy.
It was months of singing and moving and speaking for hours and hours about character.
For this list, we're looking at all the upcoming Warner Brothers movies that will also be streaming on HBO Max in 2021. Which movie are you most excited for? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10, In the Heights. Hamilton was a huge hit for Disney Plus when it was released on the platform in the summer of 2020.
Monsieur Hamilton! Monsieur Lafayette! In command where you belong! Are you saying no sweat?
And now, HBO Max will be getting Lin-Manuel Miranda's In the Heights.
You probably never heard my name. Reports of my fame are greatly exaggerated.
Telling the stories of the Latino neighborhood in Washington Heights, Manhattan, In the Heights played on Broadway between 2008 and 2011 and won 4 Tony Awards, including Best Musical.
I've been saving up all my pennies in my piggy bank for this day.
This is going to be an emotional roller coaster. The odds are against you.
The movie will star Anthony Ramos, who gained worldwide fame for playing John Lawrence and Philip Hamilton in Hamilton.
Came to work and to live, and we got a lot in common. DRPR, we are non-stop.
It is sure to attract a major following thanks to the power of Miranda's name, and it should prove one of HBO Max's biggest non-franchise releases. Number 9, Judas and the Black Messiah.
Deputy Chairman Fred Hampton of the Illinois Black Panther Party.
With Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield in starring roles, movie fans really won't go wrong with Judas and the Black Messiah. Add in an interesting historical story, and this is sure to be one of the year's most intriguing original films.
18 months for the stolen car. 5 years for impersonating a federal officer.
Produced by Ryan Coogler, the movie will star Kaluuya as Black Panther Party chairman Fred Hampton and Stanfield as William O'Neill. Hampton was deputy chairman of the BPP and was deemed a radical threat by the FBI, who brought in O'Neill, who was placed as a mole inside the BPP. The information he fed to the FBI resulted in them raiding Hampton's apartment with dire results on the morning of December 4th, 1969. Number 8, The Many Saints of Newark.
Focus on the good times. Don't be sarcastic.
While many people were left frustrated with the ambiguous ending to The Sopranos, the story of Tony Soprano is over. In a way.
Remember when is the lowest form of conversation.
While fans will never know precisely what happened to him, they will be able to see his early life in The Many Saints of Newark, a prequel set in 60s and 70s New Jersey.
I don't know how much of it's going to involve the Soprano characters. My character wasn't even born in the late 60s.
The plot will primarily concern the racial tensions between African Americans and Italian Americans in the midst of the 1967 Newark race riots, which resulted in 26 deaths and over 700 injuries. It's co-written by David Chase and directed by longtime Sopranos collaborator Alan Taylor, and will feature an amazing cast including Leslie Odom Jr., John Bernthal, Vera Farmiga, and James Gandolfini's son Michael as young Tony.
Oh, wow.
I got one for Christina and Gia too.
Where's the DVD?
Number 7, Space Jam: A New Legacy. Were people asking for another Space Jam? No, not really. But we're glad we're getting one.
No, I'm going to retire right now, and that's all there is to it. I'm going to go out on top undefeated and untied.
Serving as a reboot of the iconic 1996 original, A New Legacy will see LeBron James replacing Michael Jordan in the starring role.
Oh, look, is that Michael?
Michael!
It's Air Jordan.
The movie actually has some solid names behind it, being co-written by Ryan Coogler and Sevo Hanyan, both of whom worked on the Oscar Grant drama Fruitvale Station.
Please, baby, get back on the train right now. Get back on the train.
Meet me in Hayward. Hey, it's the boys. Dip up, split up, right?
It also helps that James is a naturally gifted actor, as he proved with his hilarious performance in Trainwreck.
Are you trying to split the bill?
Look, I told you those refills weren't free.
No. We're not splitting the bill. Pick up the check.
Why do I have to pick up the check?
Because you're LeBron James.
Like the original, A New Legacy will combine live-action actors with hand-drawn Looney Tunes characters, and will serve as the first theatrically released Looney Tunes movie in 18 years. Number 6, The Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It. This entry in the Conjuring series reunites Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as the Warrens. But The Devil Made Me Do It will not be a traditional haunted house story in the vein of the first two.
I gotta tell you, you have a lot of spirits in here. But this is the one that I'm most worried about because it is so hateful.
It will also not be directed by James Wan, with The Curse of La Llorona's Michael Chavez filling in the director's chair. The story revolves around the trial of Arnie Cheyenne Johnson, more ominously known as the Devil Made Me Do It case. This was the first court case in American history in which the defense claimed innocence based on demonic possession, as Johnson was allegedly possessed when he murdered his landlord.
Hold her still! Hold her still! Come here! Hold her still!
The judge wasn't having it, and Johnson was sentenced to 10 to 20 years on first-degree manslaughter. Number 5. Mortal Kombat.
I am Liu Kang, descendant of Kung Lao. I challenge you to Mortal Kombat.
The first Mortal Kombat certainly had its pleasures, but Mortal Kombat Annihilation was more of a disaster that essentially annihilated the movie franchise for 2 decades. Work on a reboot finally began in earnest in the mid-2010s, with James Wan signing on as producer. The upcoming movie will star all the beloved characters from the game and original movie, and it's being co-written by David Callahan of Wonder Woman 1984 and Zombieland Double Tap fame.
You possess the knowledge. All that is lacking now is the will.
Perhaps the best thing about it is that it will be rated R due to the inclusion of the game's famous fatalities, a glaring and disappointing omission from the otherwise decent original movie. Number 4. The Suicide Squad. Not to be confused with Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad is serving as a soft reboot and is both written and directed by James Gunn, who was hired by Warner Brothers after he was fired from Disney.
This is a gritty 1970s war movie combined with the brilliance of James Gunn's characters and comedy.
The movie will carry over a few actors from the original, including Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag, and Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. This promises to be a lighter iteration, complete with a pulpy story about Nazi experiments and inspiration taken from the 80s comics.
Be like a douchey Captain America.
The guy who believes in peace at any cost, no matter how many people he needs to kill along the way.
This film may present the MCU some more intense competition, which is a bit ironic considering the involvement of Gunn.
This has been truly the greatest, most exciting journey of my life making this film.
Number 3. Dune. This is definitely one of 2021's most anticipated movies.
Do you often dream things that happen just as you dreamed them?
Yes.
There's the stellar source material, of course, as Frank Herbert's 1965 novel is considered one of the finest science fiction novels ever written. A lot of money and talent has also been put behind the movie, including esteemed director Denis Villeneuve and the likes of Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, and Zendaya.
This is an extermination. They're picking my family off one by one.
And while the movie will only cover the first half of the book, director of photography Greg Fraser told Collider that it will work as a standalone story. With a $165 million budget, fantastic source material, and some of the biggest names in Hollywood behind it, Dune promises to be a true epic. Number 2. The Matrix 4. Nearly 20 years after The Matrix Revolutions closed out the trilogy in somewhat disappointing fashion, Lana Wachowski is returning to direct a 4th entry in the iconic sci-fi series.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
While little is known about the plot, the movie will see the return of Keanu Reeves as Neo, Carrie-Anne Moss as Trinity, and Jada Pinkett Smith as Niobe. It will also see the return of minor characters like Agent Johnson and the Merovingian, a character introduced in The Matrix Reloaded.
This isn't over.
Oh, yes, it is. The Keymaker is mine, and I see no reason why I should give him up.
Filming took place throughout 2020, with a brief hiatus for the COVID pandemic, and it's scheduled to drop around Christmas time. We don't know what to expect, but it is sure to be intriguing.
Get away from me!
What are you afraid of?
Before we unveil our #1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. The Little Things, crime thriller starring Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. Reminiscence, sci-fi drama about reliving memories. Malignant, James Wan's new thriller. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. #1. Godzilla vs. Kong. This upcoming major movie is the prime example of just how revolutionary this HBO Max streaming decision truly is. Godzilla vs. Kong is the prototypical theater movie. With a $165 million budget, the culmination of an entire monsterverse, and a showdown between two cinematic icons years in the making.
I want him dead more than anybody, but unless this is a fight that you know that you can win, for God's sake, stand down.
And we'll be able to watch it at home upon release. Godzilla vs. Kong is a sequel to both Godzilla King of the Monsters and Kong Skull Island, and will pit the titular monsters against each other in a modern cinematic event for the ages. Its fate will be a true marker of just how viable the simultaneous release strategy is, and if it's successful, it may alter the movie business forever.
Long live the king.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.